feels good to be in front of the camera again. Hello, everybody. I'm back. Yeah, wisdom teeth goes fucking hard. Oh, and I'm wearing, like, lipstick right now because I don't know, I feel like I should be more makeup up for like, a returning video. As, like, a treat for all you, folks, like, waiting for me to come back. I look like I'm ready for the damn circus. Look at all this blush I have on. I hate it, honestly. But, I have it on, so sure. The album I'm going to choose to review today is the album Teens of Style by Car Seat Headrest. I want to give a bit of background. Teens of Style is the major label debut by Car Seat Headrest. It is their first album signed to Matador Records. Also the first album they released as a band. When I say that, you might think this is their debut album. It isn't at all. Car Seat Headrest was recording music since, like, I believe 2010. Car Seat Headrest was initially just Will Toledo. Put up a picture of Will Toledo. Love him. Fucking cute guy. And he just recorded, he like self-recorded all those albums you know and love from him, like Twin Fantasy, Monomania, Nervous Young Man, I believe, yeah, Nervous Young Man, fucking How to Leave Town, 1, 2, 3, 4, or like Tell Me Baby, all those albums, all made by one person, Will Toledo. This is the first album by a band with additional band members, you know, to help record, help like play live as well whenever they do that. So this album is entirely, well, except for one song, entirely remakes of older songs in the Car Seat Headrest catalog. Typically stuff from Monomania, typically stuff from My Back is Tell Me Baby, and like 2 tracks from 3. I think that's a really interesting way of like introducing yourself to the world with your major label debut. Re-recording a bunch of older songs in your catalog, I'm assuming so people can like go back and like choose whichever albums to listen to. Like, oh, I like Joe Starving, the original version, the original album I showed up on is 3, might as well listen to 3. So then you choose to listen to that. Or like, oh, I really like the song Mod Gone in there. I think that song is like a really emotional song. Well, you can go listen to Monomania. That's kind of cool, and I like that approach to doing a major label debut. I don't want to get too ahead of myself. I think I already have, but this album has 11 songs on it, and it is 46 minutes long. That's a pretty solid length for an album, so it's not too long. Yeah, especially for 11 songs, that's like reasonable. There's a lot, like some of the best Car Seat Headrest songs show up on this album, like fucking Times to Die, fucking Something Soon. We'll get to Something Soon. Fucking Mod Gone, The Drum, Los Borrachos. Those are all really good Car Seat Headrest songs. It's also recorded, so those older versions, if you have heard them before, you know that they are like unbelievably lo-fi. It might be higher fidelity to cut your own ears off. God, this video is immediately rambly. God, this is a classic. And it still has like that old charming Car Seat Headrest sound because they did like future albums are studio albums, like albums recorded in a studio. This one is like still doing what Will Toledo did with his earlier albums, which is record them all like at home pretty much. And it still has that like classic charming lo-fi ass Car Seat Headrest sound that you all know and maybe love. And I guess for positives, this is like the last positive I can really mention. Something Soon. Something Soon is a perfect example of what I come to expect from this album. It's just like really anthemic indie rock that is one of Car Seat Headrest's best songs. My only issue with Something Soon is that there's one Something Soon on the album of 11 songs. Let's get some of the nitpicky ones out the way. Let's get some of the nitpicky negatives out the way. One, there's just like some small filler on the album. Like Piss Dangerous, Take Off Your Clothes is not really necessary. It feels like it would be an interlude because it is just 1 minute long, but it's placed right after Times to Die, a 6.5 minute song, and right before Strangers, a 5.5 minute song. So just a 1 minute song that's heavier than both those two feels like a dumb idea. And Bad Role Models is like the weakest song on the album, and which is a shame because it's the only one Will actually wrote to be for Teens of Style. That's kind of a shame that it's like that, but it is the weakest on the album. And Strangers, that song, I still like that song. I still enjoy listening to that song. The first 3 minutes are not great. It's like the actual song portion of Strangers, like the verses, I don't remember anything from the verses, and the choruses are kind of neat. I kind of remember a little bit from the choruses, but not a whole lot. That being said, when it transitions into that later part, with like the really cute backing vocals. God, I love that part so much. I love it. And another nitpick I have about this album is sometimes the originals are better in some way. Like, I feel like this is a bit contradictory, but Something Soon, its version on My Back Is Killing Me Baby, has that ending that is just Will, like the last four measures, is just Will screaming those lines, "Let's burn this house down," with just the drums, and it feels really candid, and I love it. And it's not really like that on the original or the remake of Something Soon. It's just kind of like fading out instrument by instrument, and it's not the best thing ever. But, okay, there's a lot of lyrical differences on this album, which I kind of do like the lyrical changes. I mean, I do like what the lyrics change too. They're still good lyrics. It's just my appreciation of it runs deeper, because sometimes on a song like Times to Die, which is originally from Monomania, a concept album, changing the lyrics to be a little more detached from the concept and instead just being more about how Will Toledo now personally generally feels is like a really cool way of changing lyrics, and I find that really, cool. I wish I could come up with better words, but I like that. It's really neat. Sometimes I prefer like the lyrics like as a melody on the originals, and sometimes I like the more lo-fi sound, like Mod Gone. That's a good song. I think I might prefer the original. Oh yeah, and speaking of Mod Gone, whenever I had my wisdom teeth taken out, like during that hiatus break, I remade the entirety of Mod Gone in online sequencer, so that's something. Anyways, on to the two massive nitpicks. The flow on this album is dog shit. I can tell they tried to make a good album flow, because it starts with Sunburned Shirts and it ends with Oh Starving, which, that's at least a sign that they tried. The album of this flow, I can go, I'm going to pull up Spotify just so I can stare at the track list and just get mad. I know that the album's, it starts with Sunburned Shirts, which is, I kind of wish it didn't. I kind of, again, I have a psychotic, idea in my head. What if the album doesn't start with Sunburned Shirts and instead starts with Piss Teenagers Take Off Your Clothes? It still sets you off on the wrong foot, sonically speaking, because the album isn't like this kind of really heavy, really fast-paced indie rock. It's kind of a bit slower by comparison. And also, it goes right into the drum, which is the second fastest, if you count Piss Teenagers. And then it eases off a little more and like calms down. And that's kind of cool. I don't like how Sunburned Shirts starts off like kind of low and then it goes up and then just... Yeah, I hate that. Sunburned Shirts is like a slower, kind of weird, psychedelic, like, folk thing. I don't know. I don't like it. It's a good song. Again, all the songs on here are good. Like, I pretty much have them all saved to a playlist, because they all are, like, playlist songs. And right after Sunburned Shirts, which is a bit of a slower song by comparison, besides, like, that ending, it goes into the drum, which is, like, a faster indie rock, just rowdy song about, like, generally being a menace to the public, and it's really cool to listen to. And then you have Something Soon afterwards, which is a really earnest, life-affirming indie rock anthem that I love a lot. And then it goes to a screeching halt when it hits No Passion. No Passion is a good song. I just feel like right there, in between Something Soon and Time to Die, especially right after Sunburned Shirts to the drum and Something Soon, building up momentum, it just kills the momentum of the album by giving like a slow, repetitive, droney song. And then it goes back into Times to Die, and then Pissing Just Take Off Your Clothes, and then Strangers. That's really like jerky. And then Strangers just goes into Mod Gone. What the fuck? I think with Mod Gone and Los Barrechos back to back, I feel like it's trying to do what like A Fever You Can't Sweat Out by Panic at the Disco does, where like it kind of like the first half is easily the more like electronically dominated side. And then with one intermission, completely switches genres, and then the rest of the album is more like, pop punk. And it seems like they were trying to go for that for Mod Gone and Los Barrechos, which is stupid because, like, there's not a lot of other... No Passion's kind of electronic. Something Soon's a little electronic. Times to Die has some synths on it, and also a lot of tape loops, which is electronic, like, technically. But other than that, I don't know. It feels like you're just shoving them all back to back because you couldn't disperse out. And then you get Bad Role Models, which is, again, a fine song. I just feel like it kind of ruins, especially after that massive outro of Los Barrechos. It just kind of, like, takes the album a bit down again. And then Oh Starving ends the album. And honestly, all things considered, I think Oh Starving is a good closer. Like, it does deserve to be the closing track of 3 different Headrest albums. Give me a second. I got an air freshener and cockroaches are getting all over it. All things considered, the flow on this album is terrible. It does have a nice ending track and a nice opening track, seemingly, to contribute to the flow, and that is, I do like that they tried. I don't like that it didn't work out well. And my other nitpick, this is a car seat headrest album. When I picture a car seat headrest album, I imagine really good album flow, really great soaring ambition in moments sandwiched between more catchier songs and some songs that change it up a little bit. Monomania, has Mod Gone on it, and that's a nice calm down. And Anchorite and Souls are also the long, ambitious, drony songs on the album that just go on and on and on to express a really complex emotion, and it's sequenced really well. This album is nothing like a Monomania or even a How to Leave Town. This album does not have a Souls on it, or a Beach Life and Death on it, or an ending of Dramamine on it. I guess the closest thing it has to a massive sprawling opus is Times to Die, I guess. I don't even think about that song when it comes to massive sprawling car seat headrest opuses, because the massive for car seat headrest standards is much higher than what Time to Die even offers. So yeah, Teens of Cell is just a really basic meat and potatoes car seat headrest album, which I guess is good for some people. Maybe you find Will Toledo to be too fucking unbearable to listen to an entire 13-minute song for them, and honestly, I don't blame you for thinking that. I kind of get it. I don't agree, but I get it. So I guess having a more meat and potatoes car seat headrest album is kind of neat, and it also does have some of their best songs on it, and re-recordings that do ultimately improve on what the album, or what those songs have done in the past. Plus, that would have been cool for giving you more of a reason to care about car seat headrest. At the time, since this is their major label debut, you're thinking oh, so there's another indie rock band that happens to have some cool indie-tronic elements. That's kind of neat, but I'm sure there's other bands around that time that already did that. So what does car seat headrest offer that they don't? Incredible song structure, and that's not really conveyed that well through this album. It's really subdued. I feel the way they could have fixed that is by bare minimum remaking Souls. It's one of the shorter songs of those massive long car seat headrest opuses. It's probably their best song, and it just being left in this state. I mean, I do like the way it appears on Me. I just feel there's some parts that could have been more polished out. So yeah, I think I talked about everything I needed to on this album, which is surprising because this is way shorter than the Against Me review. So yeah, this album is it's a really basic, streamlined form of a car seat headrest album. That being said, the really basic, streamlined car seat headrest album still has some really great car seat headrest songs on it. I'm gonna give this a high 7 out of 10. Yeah, I think that feels fair for this, because this is not one of their best albums. I haven't heard other albums all the way through, but I know for a fact this isn't one of their best. Anyways, I feel I think I have some closing statements I need to make. I want to do what I said I was going to do and show that transphobic comment on screen. If you were a bit early, you might have seen the name, and I kind of apologize for just kind of leaking that person's name like that. I don't want to put their name on blast like that. I don't want to do that. That just feels I don't know, if they're already they're already acting transphobic, which is really as Bliss worded, infantile. Despite that, I don't want to stoop down to their level and show their name like that. All you need to know is that person rides a skateboard. We're just gonna refer to him as Cooper, and yeah, he has an ET profile picture. That's oh yeah, and another statement I kind of want to make at the end. I want to retract that statement I made about Christianity in the Against Me review. That did sound pretty damn hostile. They have a habit of not being the best when it comes to being allies. That being said, I don't have a single thing wrong with Christianity. I just don't worship it because I don't feel I can dedicate myself to that, and also I don't really follow it because there are some really vocal bad actors in it. So I feel I've said everything I needed to say. So see you all have okay. I can't get these damn. I hope you all have room temperature rooms to reside in for the rest of your hours on this godforsaken world. actually. What's that thing I did in the guest interview where, like I said, I got like the haircut and I did like the gayest thing with my hand ever. That was awesome. That's really gonna be the last sentence I have in the review, huh?